and welcome to another night of SPL. We got some Pro League here with the Valdez and the Wolf. How are you doing?
Good. I've got a lot of things on my desk today here at
Whoa.
the SC2 Pro League. I feel like I'm at like a desk in an office. But here is KT Rolster. They're going to be up against Jin Air Green Wings and what is to be definitely the premium match of the night, the starting match. And it's going to be starting with TY versus Trap here for game number 1.
It's a nice map to start it out on too, Overgrowth. Going to be one of these older, newer maps that we just added back into the pool here. A map from last year that saw a lot of play. But now, of course, we are playing on Legacy of the Void, so everything does change. And another PvT. We've been seeing a lot of these days, and I've been enjoying it.
Yeah. A lot of people actually tweeted about this last night I saw. I wanted to confirm for everybody the old maps, which I like to call them legacy maps because they have like such a legacy, which is confusing with the Legacy of the Void. Those old maps do have updated mineral values. So they're not the exact same old maps. They don't have more minerals in the bases, so you still do have to expand just like you do in Legacy of the Void. The economy is updated within the map as well. So don't be confused by that because I saw a lot of people were like thinking that it was actually exactly the old map with the big mineral patches. No.
Nope. That is not the case. We are smarter than that here at Pro League, but thank you for your consideration. We do have that all ready and waiting for you guys to jump into the first game. Love that we got KT versus Jin Air here, and TY versus Trap to start things off. I mean, Trap's not doing the best these days, but TY, you know, known as one of the better turns we got here in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, looking strong in GSL as well. It's also kind of a bit of a revenge match, I'd say, for Jin Air. They got knocked out of the playoffs by SKT, or rather, KT. No, it's a revenge match for KT because they got knocked out by Jin Air. Sorry, I was saying that backwards. But yeah, Jin Air did advance to face SKT, ended up losing at the end of the day there. But here are our current standings. Jin Air has a 2-0 with a +4. They're all the way at the top. A strong win today would really help them secure their playoff spot.
Yep, definitely would. And those two guys at the top of the winners' rankings are going to be playing today, both Maru and Zest, as long as it does get to that map number 4, because Maru is going to be coming out there on map number 4. Zest will be playing in map number 3. If we're not mistaken, here we go. Here is the lineup. Here are the matches. TY versus Trap on Overgrowth. Losira versus Creator. For the
Creator hype, he's back
on Orbital Shipyard, a PvZ.
Yeah, no
things
PvT
are changing
there.
up. Everything is changing today here, Wolf. Zest versus Rogue on King Sejong Station. That is going to be sick. And then Stats, the runner-up of the most recent SSL Season 1, going up against Maru, a guy who is 7-0 currently in Pro League.
Every match is incredible. I mean, even if you look at the weakest match, potentially, which is the second one, Lucira just got out of his GSL group.
Defeated Dark in a best of 3. I mean, well,
and Creator,
pretty good.
He's one of the longest standing players in Starcraft 2. He played since the beginning, an ex-Prime member. Arguably the most successful Prime member next to Maru to ever kind of go from that exodus out into the Kespa teams. And a more recent addition to Jin Air. Still no appearance from Hyun just yet here in round 2, but that's always possible as he has joined the team along with Creator, who joined earlier this year, was around for round 1. But breaking down, not breaking down the match just yet, breaking down what events we have here at the studio. We have some events. We also have popcorn down here at the studio now, and it's very tasty, and I've been enjoying it both days this week.
It jumped into both of our throats at one point in the last cast, so I'm going to be careful about how I'm eating that popcorn during this cast. This time around, really coughed up a lung there.
Yeah.
Also, the other day, we had a lovely daughter and her mom on camera, and the mom actually won a card here. So if you come down to the studio, you can win a card. You'll be picked out of a hat, and it's just like a trading card almost with one of the pro gamers on it, and it's a cool collectible. So coming down here is not just about enjoying the games. You can also go away with a souvenir. You can go home with something to remind you of your journey all the way to the studio.
That's right. So come down, check it out. It's close to Gangnam, so you can go out and grab a bite to eat and go clubbing, whatever you've got planned, whatever you like to do. Gangnam's got it for you. The nightlife here, strong even on a Monday or Tuesday night. So you're going to have fun every single time you come down to this studio. Of course, first of all, because you're watching Starcraft 2, Pro League, highest level team league in the world, the only long-standing team league to exist here in 2016. Surviving, outliving the GSTL. Now, breaking down these two players, TY not having the most consistent 2016. The only thing consistent about him is he's consistently been fielded every single time, 9 times here in the regular season.
That's pretty insane. He's played just as many games as Zest, so that should say something about TY. They've been using him every single time, as you mentioned. Trap, not as many times, but he's definitely seeing his own amount of play here. They're definitely trying to find some extra guys for the lineup. You notice that SOS is not playing today.
Yeah.
So they're definitely trying to find some extra guys.
Also, high five. We're still tied up there with Kanata, so we're looking good right now with the predictions.
Everybody had a bad day yesterday because there were so many upsets. There were like 7 O's against the, that went all against us, of course. So we went from like 70% down to 64, but we're still on top, Wolf. And obviously, TY on top of the predictions tonight. But let's jump into game number 1 here, TY versus Trap. Down here in the bottom left, in the red, the Terran player from KT Rolster, it is TY.
And his opponent to the top right, in green for the Generic Green Wings, it is Trap. Trap somewhat overshadowed by his teammates, I feel, as a pro gamer himself individually, but a very consistent player and one of the best defensive Protosses. He will survive any mid-game that you throw at him. He's not going to die to Widowmine drop. He's not going to die to your pressure. He's never going to lose his third Nexus while you have a Bioforce over there. I think that's the biggest strength about Trap, and the thing I've always respected most about his playstyle in this matchup in particular. Even going as far back as like Early Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, for sure. Agreeing with you there. I feel like he's one of these Protosses that's very solid, but just is missing a very special, like small something that brings him to that next level, where it's like he's a mid-tier pro, but he's not like a high-tier pro. There's something blocking him, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. I mean, this guy has got experience. I think last year he made it all the way to the finals of an IEM. He's definitely a strong player, but he's missing something. Sure. I haven't quite identified what it is just yet.
As this eBay block goes down, I'll tell you what I think it is. This happens to a few players. I think this happened to Creator. He was once dominant, and then he stopped winning matches. I think you have to be more like SOS if you're a player like Trap. Like, Trap plays defensively and plays standard. He doesn't all-in that often. He doesn't take risks too often with his builds. He doesn't do any kind of shenaniganry. When you play against Trap, you always know what to expect, and that is, in a sense, a weakness. What he doesn't have that someone like Innovation has is massive consistency with late game macro and whatnot. If you're someone like Innovation, as his SCV continues to be very annoying, forcing several probes off. If you're someone like Innovation, even though you don't cheese very often and you're very predictable, you're just so damn good at being predictable and playing better than everybody else that it just doesn't matter. Trap's missing that. That's my opinion on why he's not as successful as some of his other, his Protoss teammate SOS, someone like Classic.
Someone like Hero, I think Trap is very similar to Hero in that they're both very standard, straightforward. They can play the early, mid, and late game and go very far, but Hero's just a little bit better at it, and that's what brings him to the next level. So I definitely agree with you in what you've said. I think that's a good analysis of the entire, the career of Trap, if you will, and what he stands for as a player. Trap trying to be a little bit cheeky, just as TY has. TY is making engineering bays in I think just against Protoss, but in every game that I've seen recently, he is making an E-base somewhere. On Orbital Shipyard, Dust Towers, it's in the back door natural in the minerals. On this map, it's at the natural. He wants to block it. And we got a nice bit of harass here coming from Trap.
Yeah, he's just going to force this bunker to go up. He's going to kill a few SCVs. Kills a Marine, I suppose, there, and it's the last kill he just secured. And an SCV will come in and scout his base, sees everything is normal, as you would expect. Oops, an accidental no cancel there. That's really frustrating. I think it's because of the SCV he was looking at. Oh. There goes the eBay block again. And look at the position. It's perfect for the SCV, so the probes can't even hit it.
Oh, that's so annoying. And the mothership core is not at home. It will recall now.
Oh, to the wrong nexus, though. And he also didn't want to recall that soon. I think he definitely had a lot more health. He could have been harassing the mineral line a little bit more. TY is just kind of outplaying Trap right now in every way. I did like the pressure that he tried to put on there, but it fell flat, and he lost that at depth. That really hurts. He's losing a chunk of mining time here. This is only a temporary investment for TY, but he's getting much more out of it than what he loses.
Yeah, I mean, he loses, what, like
36?
36?
Or no, wait, 41.
Okay.
I think, right? Yeah, I think it's 125, and he gets 94 back.
31?
Yeah.
This is why you never do math during a cast.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. It is 31.
But it's okay, yeah, it's 31. But he denied a bunch of the probes mining. The probes had to go all the way around the engineering bay. It's definitely worth it, and he does get a nice little scout, too, you know, while that's going on. He's sending another SCV up here. I think this is just specifically for a scout. Perhaps wants to see the gas, and I think he just did.
He, like, starts an eBay here on, like, TY. Well, this is going to be very aggressive. 3 more gates went up here for Trap. He has Blink nearly completed, and a Warp Prism is about to pop out. So this build is really powerful, but because TY didn't get a full scout off and he saw the gas, he knows that something aggressive is coming his way. Yeah. He also confirms with a scan here.
You know what this is? This looks a lot like the build of Super versus Innovation yesterday. That worked, you know, for a specific reason, because you can drop into the back door of Orbital Shipyard. You can do that harass damage with your Adepts. But, I mean, it's totally scouted. It's not it's not clean at all. You know, don't even get me started on that all. Very, very sloppy so far. And, yeah, I mean, this is an Orbital Shipyard, too, so you can't do that same amount of harass in the back door. He's going to put on pressure while he takes the third base. I don't think he's hoping to kill TY here, especially with the way things have gone down in this game. TY is very prepared.
He's going to try to hit this Tech Lab, but it's just right out of range. TY knows everything. He's, like, so perfect at defense. And the thing about this, too, is it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with Trap. Oh, is he going to commit to a Blink here? So risky. There's so many Marines here. He will get a few SCVs, and he can evacuate with the Warp Prism. But the bio at the top was up there, and he didn't actually pull out of the bunkers, so this is getting way too much damage done. Like, actually, should not have done this much damage. Now he can just blink away individual Stalkers. Very well done.
I think Hero was one of the guys who used to do this all the time on this map, and Trap is bringing it back, man. He's like, yeah, this location is still there on this map. So he gets 6 SCV kills, a bunch of kills on the Marines, too, and he's continuing to trade. He has to be careful, especially as Stim is finishing up here. I think he might just go back home. I think if he stays here, it might be a little bit folly, especially with the Stim finishing up.
Yeah, a lot of these Stalkers are low, so they're not going to be able to take a lot of abuse. There is a turret at this base, but I'm not sure if it's actually quite covering the mineral line. Either way, there's nothing in the main base, so he can split these DTs between 2 directions. Looks like he has enough for 1 scan right now as well. Back at home, his third base has been mining for a long time, so this pressure, despite the fact it didn't work out the way he wanted to make it happen originally, has really messed up what TY is planning. A big Stim here, and he doesn't lift immediately, but does save the DTs there in the end, and sets up his third base. He's got that Stim continuing to chase this Warp Prism.
Yeah, Warp Prism now in kind of an awkward spot. It looks like he's going to try to pressure and force the bio out of position and then try to get away with the Warp Prism. Going to blink over here and do some nice damage. But as you said, I mean, Trap's third base mining for a very long time. TY only getting his up now.
I really like the way he's using these Stalkers. I think the initial plan was to kill Medivacs, because on a map like this happens all the time with Terrans, even versus Mutalisk. When you have your whole army on one control group or one box, where you just box those units, the Medivacs will fly over where those Stalkers are because they take the fastest path possible. And TY realized that he didn't lose any Medivacs, but then Trap picked off a Marauder or 2 because that Stim happened before the Medivacs were there, so there was no healing. Well, +1 is finished here for Trap. The same is true of TY back at home. So Trap did get the attack upgrade first, which is not always what Protoss will do, but Going to make all of his units a little bit tougher. And there is a turret and a bunker. He probably doesn't want to commit here.
That was interesting because TY was not aware of that, actually. Could have perhaps gone in and focused down the turret, but probably would have had a scan ready to try to clean up those 3 DTs, but definitely would have distracted TY here. But you can see that Trap is very ready for this. 3 sentries, a couple of immortals, and he actually wants to fight this. He's chasing after TY.
And I like that he goes for the attack upgrade here because of how many Stalkers and Adepts he has. The Adepts, of course, have an attack speed upgrade, so that's going to really compile that extra damage onto this bio. And, of course, the Stalkers can kill medevacs faster with the attack upgrade. That does bonus to armor, as well as any stray Marauders he can catch. But committing up this ramp, though, versus 2 Liberators and all these Widow Mines is going to be difficult. Probably does not want to go for it. Just scouts with these Shades. Also has an observer position. He's going to commit.
I think he's going for this nice little split. He triggers both of the Widow Mines and the Blink underneath the Liberators. Fantastic engage, but is it going to be enough? Scan going down here as the DTs join the battle.
Yeah, that's a lot of scan, or rather a lot of minerals used to kill the DTs, so he's going to have to commit to more scans if he doesn't get any detection set up here. But this is just too much bio, and Trap is trying to come over to the right side here, force the bio away, going to kill a Liberator that's rallied here for free. 1 Liberation Zone planted here, so he's just basically avoiding the Liberators, and even with all that bio underneath, if the bio's not together with the rest of these army units in the main base, then he finds a way to cut between these bases, and he looks like he's going to grab this CC.
Wow, this is a fantastic grab here, taking that out, cuts this economy into a 2/3 of what it formerly was. And here we go, going up the ramp, coming from behind here is TY, but that's a puny bio army compared to what Trappist got up there.
Now he has the top of the ramp controlled. The Liberator will help clean this up, but so much damage done, not to mention the fact that he lost the CC. And charge is nearly done back at home for him to actually continue to build a better composition, add Zealots in. The Shade was ignored here, so now a lot of these Adepts are actually going to escape. I don't know where this Immortal's going, but...
Immortal's Crab walking out of here, man. You'll never see him again.
Pretty sure that SCV forced the barrier, too.
Yeah. Looks like it does go down as Trap trying to micro a bunch of different things at once, but man, that was definitely a successful attack, and Trap is way ahead now. It looks like it's almost 4 bases to 2. Trap getting up his 4th base right now, at least.
Yeah, he's going to have the +2 armor faster. He also has a charge I was mentioning before. The one thing he hasn't started is Psionic Storm, and he's going to harass with these Adepts. All he has to do is hold this attack off, and he's massively ahead. He's got a 4th base on the way. He has the better army right now. And even TY knows he can't engage as he backs off. He's going to be happy he did because these Adepts are about to shade in and hit this base hard. The bunker that was here before was salvaged. So look at this. Going to find more SCV damage, force the army out of position while these units move on to the front.
Going to try to snipe some of these Widow Mines before they do get off. It looks like he does, and another Blink underneath here to focus down the Liberators. And look at what else TY has. It's barely anything.
Yep, another Blink forward here, and GG. Trap gonna win that first game. The upsets continue.
I don't know what's going on, man. This is insane. Just this entire week, every game is back and forth, and it just does not go the way we expect it. But what a fantastic game from Trap. He is looking really on point there. I really liked his build.
You know what this really says when you have this many upsets in Pro League? It starts to get you thinking that this skill differential between players right now who are the favorites, maybe players long-lasting from Heart of the Swarm, and even players that were doing better at the beginning of Legacy of the Void, the skill differential the gap is closed to a certain extent. Like when players like Trap can destroy TY with good aggressive play, he kind of did the opposite of what we were saying. We were saying like this guy isn't aggressive that much. He kind of just plays really predictably. He changes up his playstyle here. He beats TY, and all these upsets means that the game is in such a healthy place right now because anybody can be a champion. Any upset can happen. You don't have this feeling of when you look at a player like, you and I looking at Bomber watching his play previously and going, I don't think this guy has a chance. How is he going to take this match? It's so important. And he wins consistently these days, and I'm like, okay, he's getting better. He's practicing. The scene is healthy. People are getting better, and whoever is favored is not always winning the matches, whereas last season that was oftentimes the case.
Yeah, and going into game number 2, Lucira versus Creator, everybody's saying, you know, we haven't seen Creator. Where has he been? What's he up to? Well, he could be one of these guys that's practicing every day. And so even though Lucira able to defeat Dark there in the GSL to get out of that group, maybe Creator's going to come in here and prove us all wrong and say, hey, I'm really good too.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Lucira is going to play ZVP as well, because Banlings are the new meta. David Kim posted his feedback from Kespa specifically was what the post said. That came out, like, I guess in the middle of the night for us in Korea here, was that Zerg players from Kespa were having trouble in this matchup, despite the fact that statistically speaking, Zerg players are doing incredibly well versus Pross, especially big favorite Prosses from Heart of the Swarm. So really interesting to see. We're seeing a lot of success from Zerg players with Banelings, Baneling drops, Baneling defense, and then Broodlord tech, Ultralisk tech, depending on the situation. So I'm curious to see how Lucira is going to tackle Creator here in the CVP.